Welcome to Focus Study Room. So today we are going to study the place of supply. In that we are going to see what is the place of supply for goods which are domestic supplies. Okay. So that comes under our section number 10. So in place of supply we have goods and then we have services. In goods again we have import and export of goods which is covered under section 11, and we have domestic goods which is covered under section 10. Then we have services which are covered under section 12 and 13. So today we are going to cover the goods, that is your domestic goods, under section number 10. So under section 10, we have various subsections. So place of supply in case of goods, it comes under your section 10. So section 10 1a says that supply involves movement of goods. So what is the place of supply in case the supply involves movement of goods? So whenever there is a movement of goods, always the ending point of those goods, where those goods are being delivered, that will be your place of supply. Then next we have 10(1)(b), which is bill to ship to model. So here the billing address will be different and your shipping address will be different. So in this case, what is your place of supply? Here the place of supply will be your billing address. The next we have 10(1)(c). Supply does not involve movement of goods. So whenever there is a supply in which the movement of goods is not involved, then in that case it is the location of the goods. Okay, wherever your goods are located, that place will be considered as your place of supply for the goods that do not involve movement of goods. Then we have section 10(1)(d), goods assembled or installed at site. So in such cases it is the location of such assembly. Okay, so wherever the goods are installed or wherever they are assembled, that location will be your place of supply. Then we have section 10(1)(e), supply on board a conveyance. So you are onboarding goods on a conveyance. Then in that case the place of supply will be the starting point wherein such goods are being onboarded. Okay, so that these sections we are going to cover today, and if you want this notes or anything, you will find the links in the description of these stream. Okay, you are given all the links, you can join that and you can reach out to us for these notes. Also you can reach out to us in case if you have any doubts. Okay. So now let us talk in detail about this place of supply of goods other than supply of goods imported into or exported from India under section 10. So these are the statutory provisions. So what section 10 says, that place of supply of goods other than supply of goods imported into or exported from India. So section 10 defines place of supply of goods for domestic goods. Now in that we have the first one which says, the place of supply of goods other than supply of goods imported into or exported from India shall be where the supply involves movement of goods, whether by the supplier or the recipient or by any other person. So remember, there is movement of goods. That movement can be by supplier, can be by recipient, or can be by any other person. In that case, the place of supply of such goods shall be the location of the goods at the time at which the movement of goods terminates for delivery to the recipient. So wherever your movement of goods is ending for being delivered to the recipient, that place is your place of supply in case of goods where the movement of goods is involved. Then next we have B, which says where the goods are delivered by the supplier to a recipient or any other person on the direction of a third person. So this is your bill to ship to model. So some third person is asking you to deliver the goods on. Okay, so see what happens is, whether acting as an agent or otherwise, before or during the movement of goods, either by way of transfer. So you are supposed to send goods to, let's say, from place A to place B. Now on place B the person receives an order and the goods are supposed to be delivered to place C. So what happens? The person at place B will ask the person at place A to directly deliver the goods at place C. So here the person at place A will deliver the goods to the person at place C. Now what happens? In this case, it shall be deemed that the said third person has received the goods, and the place of supply of such goods shall be the principal place of business of such person. So in this case, it will be assumed that place C, where the goods are received, that person has received the goods, and it will be deemed to be said that the person on whose direction these goods are transferred have received the goods. Okay, so here the person at place B is deemed to have received the goods once the goods are reaching at place C, and your place C will be the place of supply. Now, where the supply does not involve movement of goods, whether by the supplier or the recipient, the place of supply shall be the location of such goods at the time of the delivery to the recipient. So in case where your supply is not involving any movement of goods, okay, in that case the place of supply will be the location of such goods at the time of delivery. So wherever the goods are located at the time of delivery, that will be your place of supply in this case. Then, when the supply of goods is made to a person other than a registered person, the place of supply shall, notwithstanding anything contrary contained in clause A or clause C, be the location as per the address of the said person recorded in the invoice issued in respect of the said supply, and the location of the supplier where the address of the said person is not recorded in the invoice. So in case if you have unregistered recipient, okay, and supply is made to the unregistered person. Now in that case, what will be the place of supply? So place of supply will be the address which is recorded in the invoice, and in case this address is not written in the invoice, or you do not have access to that you do not have that address, then in that case you will take the address of the supplier, and whatever place is there, that will be your place of supply. And for the purpose of these clause, recording of the name of the state of the said person in the invoice shall be deemed to be the recording of address. So in case if you don't have the entire address, but if you have just the name of the state of that person who is unregistered to whom you are providing the goods, then in that case even that will do, and that state will be considered as your place of supply. Then, when the goods are assembled or installed at site, the place of supply shall be the place of such installation or assembly. So, in case if you are installing or you are assembling the goods, then in that case, the place where you are assembling the goods or the place at which you are installing the goods, that will be your place of supply. Then, when the goods are supplied on board a conveyance, including a vessel, an aircraft, a train, or a motor vehicle, the place of supply shall be the location at which such goods are taken on board. So, if you are transporting the goods, let's say in a vessel or aircraft or a train or a motor vehicle, okay, if the goods are onboarded to this conveyances and these conveyances are moving, in that case, your place of supply will be the location where such goods are taken on board. So, the starting point where such goods are being taken on these conveyance, that will be the place of supply for such goods. And your section 10(2) says, where the supply of goods cannot be, where the place of supply of goods cannot be determined, the place of supply shall be determined in such manner as may be prescribed. So in case it is not determinable based on all of these, then there are certain prescriptions which are given. Accordingly, you will be deciding the place of supply. Okay. So see, in case of the supply involving movement of goods, what they are saying is that the movement can be undertaken by the supplier or recipient or even any other person like the transporter after having disclosed the destination of the movement of the goods. So any person can make the movement of the goods. Then Also this does not link itself. Okay, and another important point is this, that this provision does not link itself to transfer of property in goods but to movement of goods. Okay, so this is not about transfer of property in goods, but it is about movement of goods. Now examples they have given. Example, Baban Private Limited of Nasik, Maharashtra sells 10 refrigerators to Chhagan Private Limited of Pune, Maharashtra for delivery at place of business of Chhagan Private Limited in Pune. The place of supply is Pune, Maharashtra. So see, here this movement of goods is required. Okay, 10 refrigerators, they are being transported from Nasik to Pune. So here the place of supply will be Pune, Maharashtra, where your supply is being ended. Okay, where these goods are being delivered, that is your place of supply. Then in next question we have, Baban Private Limited of Nasik, Maharashtra sells 20 refrigerators to Dakkan Private Limited of Ahmedabad, Gujarat for delivery at place of business of Dakkan Private Limited in Ahmedabad. So here the goods are starting from Nasik, there is movement of goods, and the movement terminates in Ahmedabad. So your place of supply will be Ahmedabad. Then in case of bill to ship to supply, see what happens is, if the goods are delivered to a recipient or any other person by the supplier on the instructions of a third person who is your original buyer, who may be acting as an agent or on his own account. So let's say you have person A, person B and person C. Now if the goods are delivered to a recipient or any other person, the supplier is your person A and that supplier is delivering the goods at place C. Now why these goods are supplied at place C? They are supplied on the instructions of B, who is the third person, who is the original buyer. Now this person B can be an agent or he can be instructing this on his own account before or during the movement of goods, but not after the movement terminates. So while the goods have not started their movement, or the goods might have started the movement but the movement has not terminated, so any time during the time during which before the goods are reaching place B or place C, if the person at place B instructs the person at place A to have the goods delivered to place C, then again the important thing to note is whether or not there is transfer of documents of title to goods. So title to goods might not have transferred or the documents might not be there. Still, it is deemed that the third person, this person at place B, has received the goods and the place of supply is the principal place of business of such third person. So whatever is the place of principal place of business of these persons on whose instruction these goods are transported to place C, that will be the place of supply. Okay, so here the place of supply will not be the place where actually the goods are received, but the principal place of supply of the person on whose instructions these goods are transported. Okay, see, they have given one example here. Now here it's important to identify two supplies involved in the transaction. Okay, so we have two supplies. One supply is by the supplier to third person and second supply is by the third person to the recipient. So one is the supplier to third person. Okay, so supplier A issues invoice to B, this is your one supply, and supplier A delivers goods as per instructions of B to recipient C, this is your second supply. Now, second limb of the provision only deals with the first limb of supply, that is supply by person to third person. Okay, so here because of that reason we are considering these persons principal place of business as your place of supply. Now they are saying the second limb of supply, that is supply by third person to recipient, will be governed by the provisions of section 10(1)(a), that is place of supply will be the location of the goods at the time when the movement of goods terminates. Okay, so see, for this case, from third person to recipient C, here the provision of section 10(1)(a) will be leviable and you will consider the place where the goods are ending So for the second supply, the place of supply will be the location where this third C person is receiving the goods. Okay. See, this will be your place of supply here. Place of supply will be location of goods at the time when the movement of goods terminates for delivery to C, that is New Delhi, supply and chargeable to IGST. Okay, because this person is located in Haryana and this is Delhi. So IGST will be leviable. Okay, so you have two supplies. One is the supply by supplier to third person. So from supplier A to this third person B in Haryana. Now this is again your IGST from Delhi to Haryana. Okay. And another supply is your supply by third person to recipient. In this case, okay, the movement of goods is involved. So the place where the movement terminates, that is your place of supply. Then you have supply not involving movement of goods. So the examples they have given. Newton Private Limited, New Delhi has leased its machine costing 8 lakh rupees to Gravity Private Limited, Noida, UP for production of goods on a monthly rent of 35,000. After 12 months, Gravity Private Limited had requested Newton Private Limited to sell the machine to it for 5 lakhs, which is agreed to by Newton Private Limited. In this case, there will be no movement of goods and the same will be sold and on as where is basis. Okay. So wherever your goods are there, from that place itself they will be sold. There is no movement of goods. Thus, the location of the machine at the time of such sales will be the place of supply. So wherever your machine is located in that particular case, that will be your place of supply, and in this case it is Noida. Next example they have given, Gangadhar Limited, Mumbai, Maharashtra opens a new branch office at Gurugram, Haryana. It purchases a building for office from Gajodhar Builders, Gurugram. It also enters into a separate contract with Gajodhar Builders for purchase of pre-installed office furnitures and fixtures in the building. Okay. So what they are doing, they have taken one office and now they are asking the builders to also provide them pre-installed office furniture and fixtures in the building. So here, though there will be no GST liability on purchase of building, as sale of building is covered under Schedule 3. Okay. Sale of building is specifically covered under your Schedule 3. Schedule 3 is your negative list, that is the specific goods and services on which GST is not leviable. So see, that case is not liable to GST, the purchase of building, but these pre-installed office furnitures and fixtures in the building, they will be leviable to GST. Okay. Since there is no movement of office furnitures and fixtures, so see here there is no movement. They are already they are saying that whatever furniture and fixtures are there, it should be in the building itself. So there will be no movement of goods. So, in such case, the place of supply will be wherever these goods are located at the time of delivery to the recipient. So, here in this case, they have asked from this Gurugram. Okay. So, that will be your place of supply. Since there is no movement of office furniture and fixtures, the place of supply of such goods is their location at the time of delivery to the recipient, that is Gurugram. Then in case of supply of goods to an unregistered person, the location as per the address of that person recorded in the invoice, or the location of the supplier where address of said person is not recorded in invoice, and even if the name of the state is mentioned of that person in the invoice, then that shall be deemed to be recorded as address of the said person. Okay. Then see one example, one thing that you need to understand here is, there are cases where an unregistered person purchases goods over the counter in one state and thereafter transports the goods to another state, generally the state where he resides. So they have given, for example, this migrant workers, tourists, etc., who come to a state for work or tourism and purchase goods in that state to take it to their respective states. So suppose you have gone on some trip, okay, you are going on some trip and you are purchasing some goods which are being sold there. So let's say you belong to the state of Tamil Nadu and you have gone to Kashmir, okay, and there you find some local artifacts, okay, so you are purchasing those local artifacts. Now you are in the state of Tamil Nadu, you have purchased them from this Kashmir, okay, while you were on your tour, and now you are bringing those goods back to your place, back to your home. So in this case, what will be the place of supply? So what this says is, in such cases, the place of supply will be determined as per the above mentioned provision. Place of supply of goods particularly being, okay. So here what will be the place of supply? So if you are provided with an invoice and in that invoice if your address is being written, then that will be taken as a place of supply. Now suppose you do not have your address written in the invoice, but only you have mentioned your state, okay. So you have mentioned that you are from Tamil Nadu and you are purchasing these things. So in invoice only Tamil Nadu is written. In that case, Tamil Nadu will be the place of supply. And if suppose even that is not written, okay, they just give you an invoice, no address, no place, nothing is written. So in that case, it will be the address of the unregistered, okay, in that case, it will be the address of your supplier. Now, for the goods, for the supply of goods, particularly being supplied through e-commerce platform to unregistered persons where billing address is different from the address of delivery. Okay, so in case of e-commerce operator, okay, so let's say you are purchasing some goods from Amazon or Flipkart, and what you are doing is you are not taking your usual billing address as your address of delivery. So let's say this Raksha Bandhan is coming, so your usual billing address will be your own address, but suppose you are sending Rakis to your siblings, so in that case the delivery address will be the address of your siblings. So in this case, what is the place of goods? So what they have given one clarification that as per the provisions of section 10(1)(ca), the place of supply of goods shall be the address of delivery of goods recorded on the invoice. So whatever address is recorded on the invoice as your delivery address, so whatever is the address of your siblings to whom you are sending this Rakis, so that place will be taken as place of supply in this case. So see what they are saying. Also in such cases involving supply of goods to an unregistered person where the billing address and delivery addresses are different, the supplier may record the delivery address as the address of the recipient on the invoice for the purpose of determination of place of supply. So whatever is the address of delivery, in such case that address will be recorded by the supplier and that address will be considered as your place of supply. Then in case of supply involving installation or assembly of goods, see here they have given us examples. Ghum Ghum Private Limited of New Delhi purchases a machine from Dhoom Private Limited, New Delhi for being installed in its factory at Noida, UP. So see here, this machine is being purchased from New Delhi and the recipient is also in New Delhi, but this machine needs to be installed in a factory at Noida, UP. Okay, so here the place where the machine is being installed, see they have given the place of supply is the site at which the machine is installed. So since the machine is being installed at Noida, UP, so Noida, UP will be your place of supply. Then another example they have given. Pure Refineries of Mumbai, Maharashtra gives a contract to Mowgli Limited, Ranchi, Jharkhand to supply a machine which is required to be assembled in a power plant in its refinery located in Kutch, Gujarat. So you have Pure Refineries which is located in Mumbai, Maharashtra. You have Mowgli Limited which is located in Ranchi, Jharkhand. Okay. Now these Pure Industries have given a contract to Mowgli Limited that they need to supply a machine. Okay. And the location of that refinery is Kutch, Gujarat. So they need that the machine to be installed at Kutch, Gujarat. So here the place at which your machine is being assembled, that is Kutch, Gujarat, will be the place of supply. See, The place of supply is the site of assembly of machine, that is Kutch, even though pure refineries is located in Maharashtra. Then in case of goods supplied on a board or conveyance, okay, so here the place from where the goods will be taken on board is the place of supply. See, example they have given. Moria, New Delhi, boards the New Delhi Kota train at New Delhi. Okay, so Moria, who is a person of New Delhi, is boarding the New Delhi Kota train from New Delhi, and he sells the goods taken on board by him at New Delhi. So from New Delhi, he has taken certain goods with him, and now he is selling those goods in the train at Jaipur during the journey. So during the journey, he is selling certain goods at Jaipur. Now in this case, the place of supply of goods is the location at which the goods are taken on board. Okay, so from where, whichever place that person has onboarded the conveyance, and from there the person has taken the goods, so that place will be your place of supply in this case. So here he had taken the goods on board from New Delhi, so the place of supply will be New Delhi. Okay, so now let's come to the questions. See, in case of a domestic supply, what is the place of supply where goods are removed? So, where goods are removed, which means the movement of goods is there. So, in that case, the place where the goods are terminating for delivery to the recipient, that is your place of supply. One second. Then question 2. Okay, let's come to question number 2. What will be the place of supply if the goods are delivered by the supplier to another person on the direction of a third person? Okay, so this is your build to ship to model. So here remember there are two places of supplies. Okay, the first one will be the place of that third person, and another will be the place of that recipient. So see, as per section 10(1)(b), it would be deemed that the third person has received the goods, and the place of supply of such goods will be the principal place of such principal place of business of such person. Okay. Then, what is the place of supply where the goods or services are supplied on board a conveyance such as a vessel, an aircraft, a train, or a motor vehicle? So, in these cases, the place of supply of goods will be the place where such goods are taken on board. See, as per section 10(1)(e), in respect of goods, the place of supply is the location at which such goods are taken on board. However, in respect of services, the place of supply is the location of, okay, the services we have not seen, we are only doing goods for today. So services is covered in your section 12, that we have not covered today, we are only covering goods, domestic goods for today. So as per section 10(1)(e), in respect of goods, the place of supply is the location at which such goods are taken on board. Then question number 4, we have the place of supply in relation to immovable property situated in India is the location of immovable property. Suppose a road is constructed from Delhi to Mumbai covering multiple states. What will be the place of supply of, okay, this is construction services. Services, okay, transportation services, okay. Okay, so other questions are relating to services. I think there is some issue. I am not able to access the contents today. Um, just just give me 2 minutes. Okay. Hmm. I think on Drive if you have. Okay. 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 I'm. Mhm. Okay. So, okay. I will take some questions from. Mhm. This we have already covered. Okay. Mm, mm. Okay, so the topic for today is covered. We'll take the next topic tomorrow. Thank. If you want to, if you have any doubts, you can connect to us in the description. Okay, we have given the links. Okay, so you can connect in those WhatsApp groups. You can reach out to us with your doubts. And if you want to have any of these materials, again, the numbers are provided in the description. So you can reach out to the team and the team will be assisting you. Thank you.